Hi, in this video we'll continue with pivot tables. We'll see how to modify colors, add color to subtotals, change headers, and adjust date formats to create year, month, and quarter formats in our pivot. Let's begin. In design, we can differentiate the headers for each row, and we can also differentiate the column headers. We can alternate row colors, one color after another, and we can do the same with columns. My favorite option is to use one of these presets, for example, one that changes both header rows and columns. But since our current one is blue, let's look for an orange one. Note, we don't have subtotals here, but if we did, it would add a subtotal area color. Now that it has color, it's easier to see and won't create as much visual clutter. So I'm going to keep it as it is now. The great thing is we can minimize everything and see totals by zone. The more rows we have, the more options we'll have. For example, let's go back to PivotTable Analyze and click on Field List. Let's add the order date and see if it reads it. Okay, so what happens now? I have Africa, right? I can expand or collapse the zone. I have Angola, and if I click here, it shows me the year. If I remove it, like in Iran, I can see all data or view it by year. Now let's go back to PivotTable Analyze and click Field List. What happens? This order date format is a date, so at the table's end we'll see months, quarters, and years. Excel does this automatically. In the database, we don't see labels for years, quarters, or months. However, when we use a column with a date format, and the date is in a format Excel can read, for example, my computer uses month, day, and year format. Dates in this column use the same format, so Excel recognizes and displays them as we see. It's crucial that in the Home tab the cell format is set to date. This way, Excel can identify that we might want to view more than just specific dates, but also by years, months, and quarters. So from this part here in the rows section, we can modify it. We can choose to see only months by removing years and quarters, as you can see here. Additionally, if we expand it, we'll see the specific date of the transaction we're discussing. Remember, we're only looking at baby food, which is why there might be just one order date. But if I add more, opening October, July, or May might show more differences. In this example, it's not happening. But here for Africa and Mozambique, October has 2 dates. If I want just the date part, I simply need to remove everything from year, month, and quarters. If I change my mind and don't want the order date, I can remove it, but you'll see months, quarters, and years here. I could then add this to my pivot table. I can place it in the rows or columns, whichever you prefer. As you can see, I can now view all the data for 2020, 2021, and 2022.